Welcome back. Did you know that on average, children ages 2 to 5 spend 32 hours per week in front of a TV? Children between ages 6 to 11 spend 28 hours a week in front of a TV. That being said, 2/3 of all programming on television contains some sort of violence. We're taking a look at what these statistics could mean for your child's development with Dr. Jamie Osdrov now. He's joining us on the couch from UB's Alberti Center for Bullying, Abuse, and Prevention. Thanks so much for being here, Dr. Osdrov. Looking at these statistics, people may be surprised to hear that younger children actually spend more time watching TV every week than children a little bit older. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, you know, there are many reasons why it may be occurring, but we know with young children, especially those that are in the care of their parents, that sometimes parents need a break, and they may be using it as a babysitter. They may be using it because they believe that it's actually a good thing for them, helping with their development.
But I mean, 32 and 28 hours, that's really not that much of a difference. That's still a significant chunk of the week. We're also saying that a significant chunk of what they're watching contains some type of violence. What do you define as violence on TV?
Yeah, violence is really extreme forms of aggressive behavior. So the usual suspects of hitting and kicking and punching and pushing is kind of consistent with that view of violence. What's really important is to understand that young children are learning from these experiences, and they're going to model those experiences when they're interacting with their own peers.
What age do you think parents should start to talk to their children about violence and about bullying?
You know, I think that it's really important for the parents of 3 to 5-year-olds in particular to do what we call active mediation. So when children are watching their television programs or interacting with other media, that they're there with them, but they're not just watching it with them, because that implies tacit approval of the content, but that they're getting the children to think critically about the messages on the programming, about the behavior, and why maybe it's not the right choice for them to be engaging in those behaviors.
Something like sitting on the couch like we're doing right now, and maybe even pausing the TV every once in a while to have a conversation?
Exactly.
Okay.
And certainly we know that a lot of the programs for young children have morals at the end of the program, but we know that young children aren't able to connect those lessons about good character development that are shown 25 minutes into the programming. So getting parents to scaffold that for them and to ask children questions along the way is a really great strategy.
And you're here representing the Alberti Center for Bullying at UB. It's a new part of UB. Tell us a little bit about the mission of Alberti.
Yeah, it's a relatively new center on campus, and it's in the Graduate School of Education. And the Alberti Center really has multiple missions, including serving as a research clearinghouse to try to get the message out as to what is the most effective forms of bullying abuse prevention, to try to educate local teachers and clinicians on best practices, also to conduct original research, and then to serve as an advocate for children and families, both locally but also around the world.
And do you think that we're getting somewhere as a society when it comes to bullying? It's been really at the forefront of a lot of people's minds for several years now.
I really think that there is a general zeitgeist, or the spirit of the times, that suggests that bullying is not okay. It's not a rite of passage, and that we all need to do our part to try to make a difference. And you know, part of that is parents, and part of that is understanding where children are learning these behaviors. And in part, one of those big risk factors we know comes from the media.
And a little bit earlier in the show, we spoke with one of the actresses from the movie, which really centers around this too: men, women, and children. Are you familiar with the book or with the movie coming out on Friday?
I'm actually not, but it seems really interesting.
All right, something that maybe we can continue this conversation in the future. Thanks so much for coming in this morning. We appreciate it for our parenting segment. Time for our weather segment now. Here is meteorologist Todd Santos standing by in the weather department.